you like a diamondback. You'll never see her coming till she hits you like a heart attack. She's wild enough to shoot at. Yeah.
Flippity flop.
Crazy like a fox, howling like an alley cat, sneaking up slow, bite you like a diamondback. You'll never see her coming till she hits you like a...
Okay, everybody, for our contest that we had, we appreciate all the questions, the responses to our contest. All week long, Sean and I have been watching this contest go on and loving all the questions that we've got.
And we're going to answer them all.
Yeah, we're going to answer them all. That's why we have Sean's computer set up with all the questions in front of us. And on top of that, we spent the last hour and a half narrowing the questions down. And we have our top 3 and our top 1. Our grand prize winners. So bear with us and we'll get through this and answer all your questions.
All right, first question. BBA Billy asked us, in the first 2 weeks of November, do you prefer to sit on a rub line, an area with a few scrapes, or just where there's a few does hanging around, and why?
Okay, first of all, we're going to start out by saying Sean and I are not your professionals that you see on TV. This is our views of the questions that you all ask. This is how we perceive them, and this is how we hunt. So, first couple of weeks, November, I want an area that has a few scrapes more than rubs. That's the way I feel. I feel like getting the rubs, you might get a deer every now and then, but you're more apt to see a few on the scrapes. At least what I've experienced and what I believe.
Now see, I'm a little different. I like to hunt the does. I figure that if I'm hunting a food plot where the does are, the bucks are starting to cruise, and that's just the way I prefer to do it.
Yeah.
No right, no wrong. Just
how how each individual chooses to hunt.
All right. Thanks for that, BBA Billy. And Joshua Hinkle says, if you have a 6-point inside of your range, but you've been looking for a 12-pointer, and there's just one out of range, do you settle for the 6-pointer, or do you try to hit the 12-pointer?
Okay. If you all have watched my films, the 6s, the small 8s, I'll let them walk. Especially if I'm looking at a 6 and another 40 yards out of my effective range is a 12 standing. I don't want to take a chance on spooking him. Not saying that a shot from a bow would spook him.
You're just not willing to take that chance.
I'm not going to take that chance.
Right.
And I've met my fill of 6 points in my day.
Right.
Unless I have a 6-point that's just pop cans all the way to these ends, I'm not going to shoot.
With me, I'm kind of, depends on how many deer are in the freezer. You know me, my family loves deer meat. We eat a lot of deer every year. Every deer that we put on the ground is eaten by the time the next deer season rolls around. So, I have to caveat that with, is there any deer meat in the freezer yet?
Yes.
But chances are 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to shoot either. I'm going to let the 6 walk, and I'm going to be all pumped up and jacked up to be in there the next morning and looking for the 12-point to be a little closer.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Joshua. Neil Webb says, when is the best time of day to use rattle horns to draw out the big bucks? Michael Neil Webb.
What do you think, Sean?
I like to rattle in the mid-afternoon. I think in the mornings, the bucks are usually with does from the night before. They're cruising, they're doing whatever. During the midday, I think the does are probably a little more scattered. They're a little more bedded down. The bucks are cruising, they're looking for a fight, they're looking for something going on. So I'm a mid-afternoon, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock kind of rattler.
Well, I have to agree with Sean for the most part. My primary time of when I like to rattle would be 11:30 till up in the 2 range. Everything gets quieting down. Them big bucks, middle of the day. Sometimes they just want to be up, like you said, looking for something.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be a doe. They're just looking for something going on.
You know, they've chased the does all night, and either it's went well or it's not, and they either have some form of built-up aggression, and a little fight just might set them off. So, but I would have to say that right after daylight, sometimes is a good chance. If you've got one in earshot of a good fight, and he's got a doe that he's been watching, he's thinking, I'm gonna go take care of both of them boys and get them away from my lady. So
good point.
I've
That's a good
rattled
point too.
a couple in the early morning, within the first 45 minutes after daylight.
All right, and thanks, Michael Webb. Next question is from Jamie Johnson. How do you look for, or how do you tell where the bedding areas are, and do you prefer on hunting them or where they travel for food?
Well,
I'm gonna say this is a tried and true thing for me. I do a half and half. Food source, bedding area, I want to be right in the middle. I don't want to be too close to either one. I don't want to be in the middle of the food source. I don't want to be in the middle of the bedding area, but I want to be right in that transition zone, say 50, 60, 70 yards from the bedding area, 50, 60, 70 yards from, you know, like the big oak flat or something. And even though those deer may get up out of the bedding area, and they may not go all the way out to feed, but they're going to get up and they're going to mill around. They're going to stretch their legs, they're going to nibble on a few things, but they may not want to stray too far away from their actual bedding area. So I've always found that, you know, that little narrow window right between those two areas is the best place to be.
I'm going to have to go with Sean. I want to be in the travel corridor. I want to be, you know, we've got a thicket back here behind us, but we've got open hardwoods out here. You know, they're going to bed, they're going to feed, or maybe the field's out here. I want to be on the in-between. You know, okay, they've got up, they're stretching, they're going to feed, but before they get to that field or to that flat, ready to get their bellies full and really alert and paying attention for a predator, I want to catch them in that groggy state where they're still stretching and they're not being aware and not watching like they should.
And two, if they're watching a lot, as the pressure starts to build, you know, they say, oh, the deer have all turned nocturnal. Sometimes that's very well the case, but early in the morning, late in the evening, they're going to be transitioning from one area to the other, and you know, I just think that's the place to be.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right.
Great question.
Very good question. Okay, I'm a blacktail hunter. It's a little bit more thick over here, and it's harder to pattern them. Do you have any advice about videoing a hunt? I bought a GoPro and plan on using it this year. Only 5 days till the blacktail rut. It's going to be sweet. So basically, what's your advice on getting into videoing hunts and getting them on TV to hopefully be one of the big shows on the TV? Well, we are not one of the big shows on TV. We're just a couple of guys with some really close friends and family that we all just kind of threw in together and did this project. So, my advice on how to get started videoing hunts is go buy a camera. Go buy a camera, go in the woods.
Buy the camera that you can afford.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't have to be a $2,500 camera to capture Hollywood
quality
detail,
exactly.
quality. You know, just buy the camera that you can afford. Just like Sean and I have. Wrap it in camo duct tape is what I've done. You know, keep it simple. You're going to want a small tripod. You're going to want a if you're ground hunting, you're going to want a taller tripod. Tree stands, you're going to have to get you some kind of camera arm. That's totally up to you. But
and the big thing is don't be afraid to play around with it either, because I mean, we have taken camera arms and cut them up and
Yes.
changed them around, and I've taken tripods and cut them, and you know, just put your own thing together, whatever works for you and your stand.
I've got one camera arm that didn't have enough sections in it, so the section I added is the frame off of an old tricycle. I cut the square tube out,
There you go.
camoed it up, and you know, you want to get as much footage as you can, and you know, everybody wants the kill shot, and of course we do too, to show you all,
But it doesn't happen.
it doesn't happen.
For every, I mean, I would love to sit down and say, okay, here's how many hours of footage we have.
Yeah,
How many kill shots do we have?
right.
You know, and there's got to be a ratio there that's probably maybe we don't want to know.
No, probably not.
Oh God! All right, thank you for that, Joseph. Mark, what's the best way to draw out the bucks during the daytime? They just crossed my trail cam at night here in Cabell County, West Virginia. Robert Hughes. Robert, we're just over here in Wayne County.
I don't know how we don't know. You.
Yeah, give us a shout. You know, we'll get together and have a cup of coffee or something. But best way to draw the bucks out in the daytime, I honestly think, is rattling, and not aggressively. I mean, I don't like to get up there on the top of the hill and just start banging antlers together. But I think just every half an hour or so, a little light rattling, a few grunts, maybe hit a doe bleat every now and then. Just give them some reason to want to move into your area.
Right, and as you can tell, since you are somewhere less than 25 minutes away from us, this November 11th 70-degree day is not helping it a bit.
Exactly.
Either. So a good cool day, you know, some doe bleats, some soft grunts, some not full out fights like Sean's saying, but just some tickle of the rattling horns, and you know, that's how you can get a couple just to pop out of the thicket or up out of the holler, just wanting to see what's going on. So.
All right, and thanks, Robert, for that. Scott Dwayne Coffee asks, do you guys hunt in the rain? And the reason he asks is a lot of people won't even think about it. Someone told him that it was better in the rain. Just wanted to know what we thought. Thanks, love your post. Keep putting those deer down. Thanks, Scott. We really appreciate you guys appreciating us, because that's why we do it. We could film this stuff and just watch it at the house and have a big old time, but it really means a lot to us when you guys are appreciating that. I love to hunt in the rain.
Yes. Well,
Not pouring down rain.
No, not pouring down rain.
But if it's a nice sprinkle, drizzle, I love it. I'm staying in the tree.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
I may not get any footage because I may have to put my camera away.
Right.
But
since I learned the hard way last year, and for anybody that's filming their own hunts and you've spent your money on your own camera, you get it wet, bag of rice. Put it in the bag of rice, because that's the whole reason that nobody got to see either one of my buck kills last year with my bow, because
and the big buck, my big buck that I killed last year during gun season, it was absolutely pouring rain and I was not getting my camera out.
So yeah, well, when I get up in the morning and it's raining, yeah, I'm going. When I get up in the morning and it's you're just dumping water out of boots kind of rain, then no. But I would say a good drizzle, you bet I'll be there.
Yep, definitely. Okay, Kevin Eikenser, I believe is the way you pronounce it. Kevin wants to know, when you're in a tree stand, would you prefer to have a food plot in front of you and woods behind you, or woods all around? He needs help with this. it depends on the situation. That's kind of the way I feel about it. If the deer are in the food plots, yeah, I want that food plot in front of me, and I want a thicket. I want that bedding area behind me, and I want to be in that spot where those deer are going to come and hang out for a few minutes right before dark before they move into the field. If it's the middle of the rut and the deer are feeding heavy on the acorns up on the ridges and the flats, then I want to be right in the middle of that. So
Yeah, everybody makes fun of me. I put in 4 or 5 food plots a year, and you don't hardly ever see me hunt them. So I'm a timber kind of guy. Up on the ridge, oak flats, down in the thicket. You know, it just depends. But I very seldom hunt my food plots hard.
so there you go. William J. Kelly asks, what's the best way to remove briars from your hunting clothes without ruining Mama's washer and dryer? I don't get in the briar thicket.
Stay out
Stay
of the
briar
briars.
thickets.
Oh,
Oh, mercy.
I can say one little tip. If you've got them on you, good knife.
Yep.
And you want to put that blade against you and rake them off. That's what I found that does the best. And I'm right there with you on Mama's washer and dryer.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch Mama's washer and dryer. All right, CG Tardif asks, my son is deer hunting for the first time this year. Do you have any advice for him as a new hunter?
Well, first of all, great that he started hunting.
Love it. Love it.
You can't kill them if you're not in the woods. A lot of time in the woods, trying to pattern the deer, and seeing where they're going to be. If you've got your own land, it makes it a whole lot easier. But my biggest thing would be knowing where the deer is going to be traveling.
And I don't know your particular situation, but if there's someone who can take him out, show him the ropes, who's done it for a long time, because I know we were both blessed with great dads that took us out and taught us everything that we know,
Yeah.
really. And you know, and God bless them for that. But you know, find someone who's experienced to take him out for those first few times, because there are a lot of safety concerns,
Right.
and you know, and things like that. We just want to make sure that he learns the ropes. But
And if it's you, that makes it all that much better.
exactly, that would make it even better.
Yeah.
All right. Clayton Owens asked, what's the biggest buck y'all have gotten?
Well, I would have to say 2010, season before we started filming everything.
Mm-hmm.
I took a 141 inch 10 point here on my place, and with my bow, so Pope and Young, and that would be my biggest.
My biggest definitely was last year, first day of rifle season. I took a really nice deer that my dad had been watching forever, and I just happened to cut him off before he did. And you guys can watch that video too. It's the West Virginia rifle season.
Rifle season
Yeah,
from
parts
last year.
1 and 2. Yeah, so you guys can check that one out.
Still don't know your score though, because it's still at the taxidermist.
It's still to taxidermist. Hey, Paul, if you're watching this. All right. Christina Owens Pratt says, my question is, why do bucks rub on cedar trees? In my neck of the woods, I've yet to see a rub on a different kind of tree. Cedar trees are really soft wood as opposed to an oak or a hickory or something like that. It's easier. Basically what a rub is, as I'm sure most of you know, some of you may not, it's a signpost. It's that buck's way of saying, hey, this is my section of the woods. And not only that, but the bark is kind of dark. The wood is really white,
Right.
when it's soft. And, you know, they love rubbing on that. You can see it 100 yards away. And plus, some people believe, and I don't necessarily know, some people think it has something to do with the smell of the cedar
Very
once
well.
they rub it.
I'm not so sure about the smell either, but yeah, you know,
Yeah.
they can see it far away. You know, deer can be like, I'm getting ready to get in somebody's territory, or he can be like, I'm getting ready to get in somebody's territory. One of the
Yeah.
two, and he knows.
Right. And it's so soft, he can make a much bigger signpost in a lot less time than he can rubbing an oak or something like that. Thank you, Kristen. And Robert Hughes says, what's the best way to draw out the bucks during the daytime? They just cross my... Oh, whoop, sorry. Already read that one. Have you ever shot this is from James Clough, I think?
I think so.
Have you ever shot a deer and hit one that you didn't even know was there?
No, I can't say that I have with my gun up until this year. Thanks for CVA. But I hunt with a 243, so bullet was in, hardly ever out.
Right.
And my bow, I was down at them. So
Yep, I've never done it either. So, alrighty. Lori Wright Stevens asks us, how did you get started doing hunts with video and then start wild enough to shoot at? We were just talking about this a few minutes ago because a lot of people ask us this question. About 3 years ago, I had just a regular little camera that would take video, and my son said, hey Dad, why don't we shoot some stuff over here and here, there, you know, and we did it, and just us cooking deer meat, us skinning deer, and just doing stuff, and I ended up calling it the Dead Deer Diaries. Well, after that, I kind of thought, well, yeah, man, this is kind of cool. Wonder if I could film some hunts. So then I started filming a few things. Hey, Dustin, man, you got a camera? Da-da-da-da-da. And here we are now.
Yeah, I'd filmed a few of my hunts before, but it was all for me. You know, and to this day, I don't even know where all of them's at. So when Sean said that, which for you all that don't know, Sean's older than I am, but Sean's known me.
You can't tell.
Sean's known me since I was just a wee lad, and he knows how much I love to hunt and be outdoors, so we thought it'd be the perfect pair. So,
and it's worked out good so far. So hopefully we'll keep them coming. I would like to know, John Scholl asks, I'd like to know what kind of work the staff does and how much do they get to hunt? How much work do we do?
I want to know how much
we get paid. When are we getting paid? Right?
Yeah. Nothing. As far as money coming into us,
we do not make a dime.
No, we are doing this for.
If anything, money goes out a whole lot quicker.
Yeah, money's going out. We do this for fun,
right?
And that's it. You know, whether Wild Enough Shoot At goes to the sky or whether we stay right where we're at.
And 10 years from now, we're still doing it.
We're filming our hunts, and we're always going to be able to watch our hunts.
Right.
And as far as work goes,
it's all kind of, everybody does it. Everybody that films, everybody that sets out trail cams, everybody, you know, I edit film. You know, Dustin comes up with ideas for segments and things like that, and I edit film. So as far as being pro staff, that's what we do. Of course, he and I do all of the work of contacting companies and sponsors and keeping up with those kinds of things, and the business side of it, I guess you could say, you and I pretty much run.
Right. All of our team members is giving us stories. They're giving us video clips from their hunts,
pictures,
trail cam pics.
Right.
That's it. Which help us out tremendously. But as far as the workload goes, you know, this computer that you're all seeing, without this, there would be no this.
There is no this, yeah.
Because that computer takes care of everything that we do.
Yep. All right, and thanks, John. Appreciate that one. George Marshall asks, if a deer ignores a grunt, do you stop grunting or keep trying? Will grunting at a buck that's ignoring your grunt get spooked easier?
No, I don't believe so. You know, he's out there, he's either heard it, doesn't care, or he hasn't heard it. And he's not ignoring it, he just
hasn't heard it.
Oblivious to that there's anything happening.
And unless it's just silly, crazy, loud, kind of grunt, and I don't think you can spook a deer by grunting at them. I really don't.
They might not want to be in the area of another buck, and they'll leave, you know, but if they're just ignoring it, then no, grunt, get his attention, grunt until you know that he's heard you, or he's just gone, because you don't ever know. You know, it could just be the least little bit of wind. You know, he don't hear you, and once he finally hears you, that could be it. He could be turned and coming. So
And we both live by the same rule on this. Once that deer has looked your direction and you know he heard you, done.
Yeah.
Because he knows you're there. It's like a turkey. You know, they know where sounds come from. So
Right.
don't overplay it once you know you've gotten that deer's attention.
right.
All right. Thanks, George. Tim Miller says, I know you guys put out the work to have a great hunt, but question is, when do you guys go to a new property? Where would be a good starting point to look for a stand site? I was always told I like to come out in the corners of fields, but what if it's just hardwoods for early season? Do they come out in the rut? Do you hunt close to a feeding source? Do you hunt a bottleneck? New property, for me, number one, I like to look at a topo map, and I want to find a spot. I want to find a low gap.
Yep.
It's for me, hunting a new property for the first time, especially if it's rut. I'm going to the low gap.
Yeah.
If it's earlier in the season, I might go to that field and just hunt it for an evening or something, just to kind of see what kind of deer are there.
right.
But if I'm going in blind, I'm going to the low gap.
I'm with Sean. You've got to look at a map. You need to know where the property boundaries are, for one, since I've ran into a lot of people this year that doesn't know property boundaries. But
There's video of that coming too.
but you know, you have to see where the thicket's at, where it's at. If you're going in season, if you're going in before season, get in pre-scout, get out. You know, find out where things are. But I'm going to be somewhere close to that thicket, or I'm going to be somewhere close to that flat of oaks. Would be my choice when I'm going in blind.
Okay. Matt Gray asks, is it better to blind call or only call when you can see them? And do you film yourselves or have a cameraman? We kind of already answered the first part of that question.
Yeah.
I don't mind blind calling, but, you know, once you have a deer's attention, then
Back off.
right. As far as filming yourselves or have a cameraman, it all depends. We have team members that film each other. I've filmed Dustin. Dustin's filmed me. 9 times out of 10, he and I hunt separately. We hunt alone and we do self-filming. So anything that you see from us is probably going to be something that we filmed ourselves.
90% of what we do from Sean and I will be, you know, solo, and that's why some of the shots won't be on film, and you'll have some good footage, and you may look at the sky while we're pulling the trigger, but a lot of the times we were by ourselves.
Yep. All right. Okay, Paul Brady asks, and this is a huge question, Paul, so I'm just going to kind of touch on the beginning of it, because I really think that the gist of your question is in the very beginning. If you're thinking of starting your own hunting show, how do you get started? Granted, I know you have cameras and a couple of staff, but how do you decide on what cameras to use? How do you go about getting sponsors? And how do you go about selecting the staff for the show? Just kind of like we said earlier, getting started is as simple as, you know, getting your video camera out, you know, take it up a tree with you, take it out in the woods, see what you can get. And it's not just during hunting season. I mean, we film all the time. We film during turkey season. We film during predator season. We fish and film. And so it's a matter of getting used to your camera and trying to put out the best quality product that you can, which is what we do. You know, we try to put out, we want to make it real. Our new slogan,
Wild enough to shoot at,
real hunts,
real
people. And, you know, that's who we are. But we try to do the best that we can. As far as getting a hunting show started, get some editing software, start putting your videos together and throw them up on YouTube like we did, and just see where it takes you. Sponsor wise, that's another thing altogether. We were lucky enough to have a couple of sponsors that jumped early on because they noticed what we were doing. And then CVA came along this year, and Hips Archery Targets. U-Slide Bowholder was one of our very first sponsors.
Right.
And the winner of this contest is going to get a U-Slide Bowholder and a U-Slide t-shirt, but
And a Hips Archery Target.
and a Hips Archery Target.
But my muzzle loader is staying with me. Sorry.
So that's kind of it. You know, it's like starting any other business. You just kind of have to wade in and
Yeah.
see what happens. Take your lumps and
Every email and every new phone call that we get every day is just a different scenario, and you don't know how it's going to play out. You don't know if that email is going to say, yeah, we love what you're doing, or no, you need more time, and you know, good luck to you. So
right.
you know, you just gotta make it what you want and work hard for it.
Right. And that's the main thing. Make it what you want. That was a big
Right.
thing with us with Wetzel. We wanted to make it what we wanted to see. And we don't make it necessarily what our sponsors want to see. We, like it says on the website, we don't pick our sponsors because what they can do for us. We pick our sponsors that come to us because we believe in their product, we use their product, and you know, so it's not a matter of we're not going to change anything for a sponsor.
No.
All right. All right, folks, we're down to the final few questions here. And again, I just want to say thanks to everybody that posted a question, because it means a lot to us that you guys trust us enough to ask a question, even though you're winning prizes. I know that was one of the main thing, but you know, we just appreciate it that we have as many fans as we do, and that everybody's participating, because
Right.
that's what means a lot to us. Okay, this one is by Zach Titmus or Titmus. What's your most memorable and exciting moment?
Most memorable, exciting moment. I know a lot of our viewers don't know. 2 years ago, almost 3 now, I lost my father. That was my true inspiration for hunting, and I can't narrow it down to one memorable hunt, because when I go to the woods, especially where I hunt all the time, is where I grew up, him teaching me how to hunt. So anything that was with my dad when I was in the woods would be my most memorable hunts, because you know, I don't have him anymore.
Right.
And you know,
Awesome.
if he was on here, or if he was still alive and watching this show, we would have a whole nother segment for Danny's Kitchen, because
Yeah,
the
cooking
man
with
was a
Danny
cook.
C.
So that would have to be mine. Anything with my dad.
I have to say, as far as my most memorable moment in the woods, about 6 or 7 years ago, I shot a 9-point. It was opening morning of rifle season. Deer was about 40 yards out. I'm up in a ladder stand. I shot the deer, and when he turned to run, he ran straight towards me. When he did, as he got closer to me, he started getting a little weak, and he actually crashed into the bottom of my ladder stand. And I'm like this, you know, trying to hang on, and he goes about 5 more feet and expired right there. So that was probably my most memorable and exciting moment, because I thought, wouldn't that be fitting if the deer got his back and knocked me out of the tree on his foot? All right, folks, we're down to the last 3 questions here, and these are the 3 that we picked, not because of content, not because of anything like that, but just because these questions kind of touched us in one way or another about what we do. So
Right.
what we're going to do is the 3rd place and 2nd place questions are going to we're going to send them a Wetzel sticker.
What's a
decal. So, and then the grand prize is going to go to the last question. But okay, here's number 3, your runner-up. This is from Patrick Nippers. When the thrill or buck fever ends, will you stop hunting or teach a child, even one not your own?
Well, as you all will see in the video coming up, that I missed a 10-point beginning of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it ranged. I lost track of the exact spot I ranged. I thought the deer was a little bit farther. It was a little bit closer. I shot over it.
Don't tell them everything.
Well, you'll see it. But afterwards, I was shaking. I mean, I was tore up afterwards. So I know it'll be a while before that leaves me. But yes, I would take a kid that wanted to hunt that wasn't my own, as well as my 4-year-old daughter that has stated so many times, Daddy, I want to go hunt.
Wait do you see one of our upcoming videos where we actually gave Kaylee the camera on
Yeah.
one of your hunts. So it's
Yeah.
it's Kaylee's episode. Kaylee was the cameraman.
Yeah, I took her with me, and it was quite interesting. But she's 4, so.
Exactly. Definitely. I mean, I still get excited. I mean, and I'll be totally honest with you folks, I still get excited when I see a doe step in. You know, I mean, and if that ever stops, I've been lucky enough that my son's 15 now. Connor, you've seen him on some of our videos, and you've got nephews that are of the age that they're up and hunting now.
18 and 14.
So we're lucky enough to have kids. Although my daughter's a vegetarian, I'm not exactly sure how that happened.
Not in your family.
Not
I
in my
don't
family,
know.
but anyway.
But we love you, girl.
Yeah, we
Don't
love you.
worry.
We love you. She's not a hunter, but yeah, if it ever came to the point where I didn't get excited anymore, I would definitely take someone else's child out and be more than happy to do that.
Yes.
So, all right, thank you very much for that, Patrick. All right, the next runner-up question is from Ryan Heron. Here's my contest question. All hunters have various reasons to hunt. What are yours, and what makes it important to you?
Go first, Sean.
The reason that I hunt is, number one, I believe that it's part of our heritage. I believe it is something that is to be respected, that is to be carried on, just like a lot of other things in this world. I don't necessarily think the old ways are always the bad ways. You know, I don't think the new ways are the good ways.
Right.
In other words, I feel like hunting, providing food for my family, the friendship with folks, you know, and the camaraderie, that's what it means to me. And not to mention the fact of just being out in God's wonderful creation and just being able to sit there for 2 or 3 hours and maybe not see a deer or anything, but there's that squirrel over there and you go, wow, there's some awesome squirrel footage coming up on it that you got. I mean, it's amazing to sit there and just enjoy everything that's around us that God's given us. That's how I feel about that.
I couldn't disagree with any of that. You know, and to top it off, when you can do it with friends, family, or introduce somebody new,
Yeah.
it's making those memories. And I believe as hunters and outdoorsmen, on top of everything else, we have a duty to keep populations in control and in check, to keep the land at balance. And that's what I know we're not a major part of that, but because Mother Nature and God will take care of what has to be took care of. But you know, we help keep the population in check.
And we are predators.
We are.
You know, we eat animals, so you got to get them somehow.
That's right.
All right, folks, drum roll. The grand prize winner is Anthony Jones, and we are going to be shipping out some really cool stuff to you very soon. Here's Anthony's question. What is it like to be a part of Wetzel, and how has it impacted your life? Does having a show change the way you hunt deer? I want to speak to the question first.
Okay.
What I liked most about this question is the second half of it. Has it changed the way that you hunt deer? And I always wondered that after, you know, growing up watching Bill Jordan and, you know, and Roger Ragland and all these guys, and even Jim Cromley, you know, back in the day. And I always wondered, you know, does it change the way that they do things? You know, because Yes.
Yes.
It changes the way you do everything.
And like we said before, we're not even on that upper level.
We're not on that plane yet.
And
but-
it is, wow, some of the things that you have to do, and the extra weight, especially when you're filming yourself and you carry everything
right. Mhm.
yourself, you know.
You have to think ahead and go, okay, you know, I might need this tripod, I might need that tripod. I've got my camera and I need this and I need something to cover the camera up with in case it starts raining and blah, 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 and it just keeps going. And your little day pack that you usually carry with a grunt tube and a knife and a drag rope in it suddenly, you should see our packs.
I used to not even have a pack.
Right.
I had cargo pants, pockets full,
Mm-hmm.
good jacket with a lot of pockets full.
Yeah.
Now I have bow.
Oh.
I have
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
I have a bow. I have my climber because I hunt out of a climber a lot. I have my climber on my back. Then I have this whole backpack.
I went from no pack
I have a backpack that size
to this pack.
that has camera. It has camera arm. It has tripod. It has a backup tripod.
Yep.
Which is my little flex tripod. I even have a backup flip cam, which saved me from last year when I had no footage of whatsoever,
Right.
but I got to bring the recoveries in. So extremely a big amount of change in the way we hunt and the way we go into the woods now.
Well, it's a matter of you guys have all been in the woods and you know, sometimes it's just day upon day upon day of nothing really happening. And then there's that 15 seconds of that magic moment, you know, when maybe you don't get the shot, but that big buck just comes busting through. And and part of, we feel like our job as Wild Enough to Shoot At is to capture that. That's what we want to do. We want
Right.
to share those cool moments with you. So we always are on guard. We're, you know, I keep a camera in my truck. I keep a camera on my four-wheeler. I keep a camera, you know, you always have a camera with you just in case something cool happens. And then as far as the first part of this question, how has it impacted your life?
Well, I'm not walking into Waffle House signing autographs, but there has been a couple of people that I've met and has recognized me. It's been local people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's great. You know, it's different. It's truly different. But I haven't reaped any negative.
Right.
Any negative response from it yet. So I'm still on the upper end. So I guess when somebody comes face to face and slams me, I guess I'll be took back down.
It
a
says,
notch.
you guys are terrible. Yeah. If you want to know how it's impacted my life, I spend a lot more time in front of the computer than I used to. Just like this evening, we wanted to shoot this real quick so we could get the winner out ASAP. The contest was over last night at midnight. As soon as we get done shooting this, I'm going to go home and spend a couple of hours putting this all together and getting it up on YouTube and getting it up on Facebook for you guys. So that's how it's impacted my life. And in another way too, it's impacted me, and I don't mean to sound, you know, really philosophical or anything about that, but it's really changed the way that I look at things. It's changed the way that I look at hunting, and it's changed the way that I look at things when I'm hunting.
Yeah.
Because, oh yeah, look at that squirrel, it's da-da-da-da-da, and now I'm like,
Wait a minute.
wow, look at that squirrel. That squirrel just did
yeah.
something really cool, and I caught, you know, so yeah, it's kind of impacted the way that I look at the world in general, not from a philosophical point, but from a camera angle. Exactly. I'm a behind the lens guy all the time now. So folks, like we said, you know, thanks for all the questions. They really mean a lot to us to be able to answer them, that you guys actually, you know, care about what we think and how we do things and our processes and how we started the team and everything like that. And especially congratulations to Anthony. Your prize pack's coming, brother. You need to email us at wildenoughtoshootat@gmail.com. Email us your address, your phone number, all that good stuff, so we can get in contact with you. Then a couple of the companies are going to be getting in contact with you. What size shirt do you want, stuff like that. So anyway, thanks to everybody for watching, and we really appreciate the support that you guys have given us. Without you guys, we don't have a show. So
Right.
from me, Sean,
And myself, Dustin, thanks for watching Wild Enough to Shoot At.